guys, welcome back to the channel. And I came across this bit of information regarding Love is Blind Season 2. And I think we as fans got a little bit gypped this time. Because apparently Natalie had 2 engagements. And there were 2 other couples that got engaged. So we'll talk about it. And we'll talk about the status of the 2 couples that we didn't get to see. So if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. If you like the video, smash that like button, and also feel free to drop a comment down in the comment section below. So without further ado, let's talk about this. So first, we're going to talk about Natalie. As you guys remember, we got to see her this entire season receiving a proposal from Shane. Now, the interesting thing is there was also another guy who very, very early on was also interested in Natalie and basically proposed to her first. So one of the producers had a conversation, and you can check this out at Metro UK. He did a conversation yesterday on Monday that this whole thing with Natalie, it was very out of the blue, but he felt like, and they didn't name the guy, but he felt like he knew she was the one. And Natalie, on the other hand, thought because it just came so fast, it was just weird. From what was said, the contestant had developed very, very significant feelings. They had a short time together on the show, but Natalie was not on the same page. She said no, then he left, and that was it, according to production. And, you know, I was like, man, I kind of wish we could have saw all of this. But of course, however, we got to see none of that. All we got to see is the second time around for Natalie, which was the whole situation with Shane. Now, they asked the producers why you didn't show us the first proposal that Natalie received. And they said, oh, we only got so much bandwidth within the show. I mean, they thought it might have been a fascinating story, but because we were focused on something else that was more of a story, yeah, that story was a little bit less significant. And they wanted to tell the story properly, but they claim it would have just took up too much time that they didn't have. So ultimately, we did see Natalie leave with Shane before breaking up with him at the altar, which is what we saw in episode 10. And of course, we saw all of the stuff on Instagram about this being the best time of her life, and she would do it all over again with him. That particular Instagram post had a lot of people on social media confused, because some people was thinking like, okay, I guess they cool, but are they back together? I guess we won't know. The reunion is Friday. But, you know, even Shane watching his story, and I really don't want to rehash the whole thing because it's not over yet, and we'll probably get a more of a clear picture on Friday, and then everybody interviews afterward. We'll learn more. But I guess the only thing is that I would have been interested in seeing even that part. They gave us the whole thing between Ayanna and Mallory and Jarrett, but why not give us the whole situation between Natalie, Shane, and this other guy? That would have been maybe interesting too. But hey, I don't make the show, the producers does, but I think we got a little bit gypped. But let's talk about even more stuff that we didn't get to see, and I still think we got gypped big time on this one. So let's talk about this, because apparently there were 2 other couples who got engaged. That first couple let's talk about was Jason Beaumont and his fiance at the time, Kara Williams. And, you know, they kind of shared with the host, Nick and Vanessa, in the first episode that she often not thought of as wifey material. And so I guess it didn't last long, so they had since split up. But originally, you know, he thought of Kara being one of the most charismatic, loving, supportive people that he's met. Hands down, one of the strongest women that he's met. But unfortunately, He said since they parted ways, that is what it is, and that, would never take away the feelings and love that he originally had for her throughout the process. So their relationship wasn't even featured, even though they claimed that it was authentic. And I'm like, okay, why not show all of the couples who made a connection and got engaged? That's crazy. And then there's the other couple, Joey Miller and Caitlin McKee. He also popped the question before setting eyes on her. So Mr. Miller appeared a few times at the beginning of the season. He was the one discussing his difficulties dating with gray hair. Now, he did post that learning to connect in this way was ultimately one of the best things he's ever done. However, the couple is no longer together. And he went on to say, that he had amazing summer and fall with the opportunity to travel, meet each other's family, and even build a genuine connection without all of the cameras around and the crew around. But also Caitlin, along with what he had to say, they, of course, ended their engagement. And she even shared on Instagram, although we ultimately chose to go our separate ways recently, we are choosing to remain friends, and he will always hold a special place in my heart. So, unfortunately, these two couples didn't stay together, even though they did form a coupling and an engagement during the process. I still would have liked to see their journeys as well. And we can't say, well, they didn't stay together. Okay, but we got 2 out of the 5 that was on the show. Only 2 couples we got out of that was Ayana and Jared, and of course Danielle and her husband. And that was it. So, if you were going to show 2 out of 5, you could have technically maybe showed 2 out of 7. But I still would have liked to see the journey. I think, if you sign up for something like this with all these cameras and stuff around, why should you, if you formed an engagement, a connection at the time, end up on the cutting room floor? And of course, that means we got gypped. We could have got a lot more other content as well. But according to production, they didn't have enough space for it. So we didn't get to see them. So let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think we got gypped? Would you like to have seen these 2 couples as well, even though their journey ended after the filming ended? But would you like to still have seen their journey? I know I would have. So drop your comments down below and let me know what you think about this whole situation. Hopefully they'll do it differently next time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon. Bye.